The brand new Xiaomi YU7 has just been unveiled in China. They've had a launch event, and I've got to say this thing looks incredibly impressive. It looks a bit like it's a copy of a Ferrari Purosangue SUV, but you know what? I think I'd prefer this over the Ferrari. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Xiaomi's YU7. We've all seen the speculation. I've made a couple of videos on it, speculating on what the stats might be, but Xiaomi have just revealed what they actually are. The YU7 is a mid to large electric SUV built on the company's Modena platform. It is basically exactly 5 meters long, 2 meters wide, so it's quite a wide car, and 1,608 millimeters tall. It's got a long wheelbase as well. It's a 3 meter long wheelbase. Not really a practical kind of car. I mean, it's more about looks, and it does look very good. Same with the Xiaomi SU7, very long bonnet. But yeah, very, very cool looking car. And it's going to be available in 9 different colors, including a green shade inspired by Colombian emeralds. I had no idea that emeralds even could come from Colombia. And orange and metallic titanium finishes. I like the metallic titanium personally. Weight. Considering the size, the weight is actually pretty good. It weighs between 2,140 kilograms in single motor variant to 2,460 kilograms with the biggest battery in dual motor variant. Wheel choices. They're either 19 or 20 inches, which is pretty practical. Going bigger than that would mean you're going to get less range. Speaking of range, it's got a lot of range. More than 800 kilometers. We'll get to that in a second though. One thing you can see, it has inward folding electric door handles with ambient lighting and UWB, which is an ultra wideband support for smartphone-based keyless entry, meaning you're not going to have sometimes you have problems with your phone connected to your car. It doesn't always work properly. That should fix that. And it also has a fully leather-lined cabin featuring Nappa leather, zero gravity front seats, offering 123 degrees recline and 10-point massage functions. This is a proper luxury car. Rear passengers have 135 degrees of electrically adjustable seats, so those rear seats are going to recline pretty far back. And they also have a 6.7-inch touch control screen for climate, music, navigation, etc., etc. It's a pretty damn cool looking car on the inside and on the outside. The dashboard has a 1.1 meter very long screen that has 3 mini LED screens with 108 ppd retina level resolution. Basically, it's got a very, very high quality front screen, which is also very big. The system integrates driving data, media, blind spot imaging, and customizable widgets. The car includes a 4-in-1 domain controller that merges cabin, assisted driving, vehicle control, and communication systems. It is supported by a Snapdragon 8th generation 3 chip with apparently fast boot up in 1.35 seconds and over-the-air updates in as little as 15 minutes. So it's got essentially the latest chips you can get in the industry. In terms of powertrain, there's 3 different options. Car News China says YU7 rear-wheel drive, single 235 kilowatt rear motor, 530 newton meters. So about 300 horsepower, 530 newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 in 5.9 seconds, top speed 240 kilometers an hour. That's going to be the option that's going to give you the most range as well. The YU7 Pro all-wheel drive is the mid-spec version, basically the same car, but it gets an additional motor. It's got 365 kilowatt in total, so about 500 horsepower, 690 newton meters of torque, and it'll do 0 to 100 in 4.27 seconds. The top spec version, the YU7 Max all-wheel drive, has 2 motors for a total of 508 kilowatt or around 700 horsepower and 866 newton meters of torque. It'll do 0 to 100 in 3.2 seconds, very fast for a vehicle this size. In fact, very fast for any car. Top speed is 253 kilometers an hour. United Automotive Electronics supplies the motors, with the Max version using a 220 kilowatt front motor and a 295 kilowatt rear motor. All versions have an 800 volt, it's basically the car is built on an 800 volt silicon carbide high voltage platform, and they use V6S Plus motors. enabling 5.2C charging speeds. They can add 620 kilometers of range in around 15 minutes. So approximately 500 kilowatt fast charging for this car, maybe slightly faster than that, but it's approximately 500 kilowatt. Of course, you're going to need the right charger for that, but the point is it's capable of that kind of charging speed. 620 kilometers in 15 minutes is basically the future is here, isn't it? Battery configurations and range are this. The rear-wheel drive version the cheapest version uses a 96.3 kilowatt hour battery. It's lithium iron phosphate, and it provides 835 kilometers of range. So the cheapest version has the most range. That's CLTC. WLTP range is going to work out to be about 700 kilometers, which is still massive for a 5-meter long SUV that can charge at 500 kilowatt charging speeds. What a pity this car is not yet being sold outside of China. The mid-spec Pro all drive has the same battery pack, LFP battery, 770 kilometers of range. CLTC, so probably around 650 kilometers of range in that all-drive version. You can see that range goes down by about 65 kilometers because of adding that extra front motor. The Max all-wheel drive gets a slightly bigger battery. It's 5 kilowatt hours bigger for a 101.7. Let's just round that off. 102 kilowatt hour battery. That's an NCM battery, so nickel, cobalt, manganese. Bit higher energy density. Range 760 kilometers of range for that option. So probably about 630 to 640 kilometers of range, WLTP, which is massive for a car with that kind of performance. Safety. Apparently the vehicle structure, it's a structural battery pack, and they use gigacasting as well, which actually helps them massively speed up production. It includes a 2,200 MPa ultra high strength steel integrated roll cage developed in collaboration with academic partners, a 20-in-1 aluminium die cast front frame. It's a gigacasting frame, that's what they're referencing, and a steel aluminium hybrid body referred to as an armor cage. This will be a really safe vehicle considering how they're building it. The only other company that I know of it is in China that's building cars in a similar way to this is XPeng. The battery pack features a reinforced shell with a bullet-resistant coating, and Xiaomi reports that over 50 passive safety tests have been conducted. The A and B pillars have been structurally enhanced as well, they say. Standard, you get on all YU7 variants, LiDAR sensors, NVIDIA Drive AGX Thor with 700 TOPS of computing power, paired with 4D millimeter wave radar and ALD coded anti-glare cameras. Not sure how many cameras it has though. The car uses Xiaomi's in-house developed end-to-end assisted driving system, marking a key part of its automotive development strategy. They're really trying to focus on enabling full self-driving. Will it have full self-driving? No. It'll be more like Tesla's autopilot. So, you can use it on freeways and you can sort of use it with supervision. The YU7 was initially planned to debut at the Shanghai Auto Show in April. It was delayed because of apparently a fatal incident involving one of Xiaomi's autonomous test vehicles. Anyhow, probably the one downside you can talk about later, there has been a few negative media incidents in China recently. For me, the only real negative, though, all that stuff to me is just noise. The only real negative is the complaints. Xiaomi are getting a lot more complaints for their cars than any other mainstream EVs right at this point in time. That's generally what happens though when you're a brand new brand, bringing out a brand new product, you're going to get more complaints. That's pretty normal. I'm going to guess by the time the YU7 comes to market in a few months' time, probably 2 months' time, I'm hearing, July, I'm going to guess they're going to have most of those issues sorted, software, bugs and things like that. First generation cars, first generation YU7 should be a better car than the sedan version, the SU7. The SU7, by the way, I haven't actually driven it, but I have seen quite a few of them in China. I had a good look at them, sat inside one. They're pretty cool cars. This, though, to me, is just, it's unreal. I mean, the pricing is estimated to be a similar price to a Tesla Model Y, the long-range version of the Tesla Model Y. So you can see here why they're probably going to get a hell of a lot of orders and be a very formidable opponent to basically every other car brand right now in China.